smarts and my...
He told me enough.
No, I.
Here's Chuck.
Hey everyone, it's Corleone here, and I'm here with a brand new reaction. And this reaction is going to be for the follow-up to the Watchmojo one I did, and this whole reaction. Remember when I did reacted to their Watchmojo's best movies of 2022? Well, I decided to do a not best movies one. I decided to do another Watchmojo one, and this Watchmojo one is going to be for their top 10 unexpectedly dark movie sequels. So, once again, these are all going to be my opinion. So, some I may not like are going to be on here. You like these ones, it's fine, each their own. But anyway, here we go in 3, 2, 1, play.
Whoa, this franchise just got heavy.
We'll be alive, but like a nightmare. You drink blood.
That's a prequel, but yeah, I hope that is on the list.
Watchmojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 unexpectedly dark movie sequels. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're taking a look at sequels, prequels, and or follow-up films that caught audiences off guard with how much darker they were than their predecessors. Since we'll be delving into some key plot points, a major spoiler alert is in effect. Number 10, Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
I agree with that. There's one we agree with so far.
Captain America, the First Avenger was an old-school adventure, with a look and feel reminiscent of superhero serials from a bygone era. Those expecting more of the same in the Winter Soldier were treated to something completely different. Now, in a modern setting, Captain America finds himself in a more complex time, where the line between good and evil isn't so obvious. Not only are our heroes betrayed by S.H.I.E.L.D., but also one major MCU character nearly bites the dust while another hero is brainwashed into becoming a killing machine. It's a follow-up that's more sophisticated and adult in all the right ways, earning comparison to great conspiracy thrillers before it.
It felt more like a thriller than a superhero
Number 9,
film.
Crank, High Voltage.
I like Crank High Voltage, but I don't think it should be on here.
Centering on a hitman who needs to keep his heart
There's
together
much
in order to
darker
live,
sequels than Crank High Voltage.
Like,
Like,
came to graphic violence,
this should be either
and
Rambo
sex,
4
even having
or
its main
Batman
character
Returns.
indulge in very
What about
vulgar
those?
sex. The sequel cranked the insanity into high gear, however.
Those are
with
darker
more
than
gore,
Crank High
more swearing,
Voltage.
and even more ridiculous public
High
sex
Voltage
scenes.
felt more comedic than the first film.
The tone of the overall movie is also much darker, with body parts getting chopped off, blood flying everywhere, and
I don't think that makes the
the
movie darker.
finger to the audience. While it's still executed in an over-the-top, self-aware fashion, many critics found High Voltage extreme even by the first film's standards.
It's because of them we have stupid PG-13 shit now.
Number 8, Jurassic World.
No. Fuck Fallen Kingdom. Fallen Kingdom was garbage. If people like it, that's fine, but what was so good about Fallen Kingdom? Name one thing that was remotely memorable. My God. Somehow Fallen Kingdom is darker than Rambo 4, darker than Goblet of Fire, darker than Batman Returns, and is somehow darker than Cap the Winter Soldier, somehow darker than The Lost World. All those are darker than this piece of shit.
Dragon 2.
I agree with that. That I do agree with.
5 years older in
How to Train Your Dragon 2 actually took balls for an animated flick. It actually had some serious balls.
which means he has to face more menacing villains and even greater hardships, most notably the death of a parent.
Yeah,
While some
I
might
do wish
suspect
they
that
didn't kill
Solo
off
was
Stoic,
fascinating
but
instead.
I like that he
Corleone
didn't
dies
die
in the
pathetically and he actually died
Under the
protecting
control of
Hiccup.
the Wildebeest,
And
Toothless
and actually it was kind of ballsy for them to actually kill off a main character in their own
Is
franchise.
this a family movie or Game of Thrones?
I like it didn't feel like a family movie for a change.
Number 6, Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, that's easily the
After
best Star Trek
Motion
movie.
Picture
Easily the
received a warm
best.
response, audiences weren't sure what to expect from the sequel 3 years later. What they got, however, was not only more in the spirit of the original series, but also much darker than any of the USS Enterprise's previous adventures. This can largely be attributed to the villainous Khan, who manages to be dastardly, while also being oddly empathetic.
Do you know the Klingon proverb that tells us revenge is a dish that is best served cold?
Khan is
Better second installment than Into
And
Darkness.
although our heroes do persevere in the end, their survival doesn't come without sacrifice. The death of
And
Mr.
Spock
Spock
dies.
is arguably the most harrowing scene in the entire franchise.
He does
It
come
even
back in
returns the
3,
following
so
sequel.
at least he comes back.
Number 5, Logan.
That I agree with.
The Wolverine.
After 2 PG-13 Wolverine movies that were more angsty than they were dark, fans finally got the hard R representation of the character they'd always wanted to see.
Yes.
With a barrage
And to
of
me, this
F-bombs,
is the end to X-Men, the true ending to the
characters who aren't
Fox
brought back
X-Men
to life.
franchise.
It's actually hard to believe that Logan was made by the same studio as the more colorful X-Men films.
This is where it should have ended. But no, we're gonna bring Hugh Jackman back for Deadpool 3. That's gonna suck under Disney's rule. They're probably gonna make. And I don't care if they're making Deadpool 3 R-rated. They're probably gonna ruin Wolverine.
Unlike some other hardcore superhero movies, though, Logan earns every piercing moment.
I don't know how you got me here.
This should have been kept as a send-off. Just leave his send-off
Number 4,
alone.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
That's technically a prequel, but I agree with that.
While Raiders of the Lost Ark had its dark moments,
Glad
Temple of
it's-
Doom is flat out sadistic at times. Not only are our heroes in constant peril, but the film
Like-
also involves child slavery, human sacrifice, and a
With
scene
the
where
beating
a
heart-
character's heart is ripped out of their chest.
Oh, I was about to mention that.
Executive
Ironically.
producer George Lucas was actually going through a divorce at the time of filming, while director Steven Spielberg had recently.
It's kind of
broken up
sad
with
that
his
apparently
girlfriend.
Spielberg and Lucas
Neither were
hate
in an
this
especially
movie.
good place, which
I actually
partially
liked it
impacted the
because it
movie's
actually went
nature.
more original and didn't
While
just
the
try to
filter tone
redo
led
Raiders
subdivided,
again.
It became clearer than ever that the MPAA
Like they were
needed
trying to be
a
more
reading to bridge
creative.
the gap between PG and R.
I feel like Temple gets too much hate.
Number 3, Star Wars Episode 5: The Empire Strikes
Yes! I put that higher up though. I'd put that in 2 or 1, not 3.
Back. Nowadays, we all know about the big twist that occurs in the third act of The Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back would be a little
Imagine experiencing
higher.
this moment in the theater back in 1980, though. It was a revelation that had kids and adults alike stunned, making us all contemplate the gray area between the light and dark.
And that's still one of the
sides.
great. That still can never be
Aside,
topped.
The whole movie is much grimmer than its optimistic predecessor, complete with more mature themes and more shadowy settings. The cliffhanger ending in particular leaves our heroes defeated, with
Yeah.
one fan favorite's up in the air. Whenever any sequel has tried to up the darkness since, it's referred to as the Empire Strikes Back of the series.
Vader.
Number 2, Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah,
Sorry, I just...
that should be number 3, not number 2. I don't think that's number 2.
Going into Infinity War,
Number 3
fans
should
knew
be
that
Infinity
the characters
War.
would have
Number
to die
2
at
should be
Thanos'
Empire
hands.
Strikes Back.
Given the limited casualties in the previous Avengers movies, though,
I feel like there's much darker sequels than Infinity War, but Infinity War I'm glad is on this list.
Loki, and halfway through, Gamora fell to her demise. Then there's the ending where Thanos snaps half of the universe out of existence, including major characters like Black
I remember the whole theater
Spider-Man,
being
and
shocked.
most of the Guardians of the Galaxy. No, you can't kill Groot twice.
No, 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 no.
While it's left uncertain if some or all of these characters will return, the MCU doesn't get much darker than this.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go, sir. Please. Please, I don't want to go.
Number 1, Toy Story 3.
Yeah, but Toy Story 3 does deserve to be on this list, but once again, I think there's much darker sequels that could be number 1.
While still maintaining the same playful nature of its
Like, what about
predecessors,
Batman
Toy Story
Returns?
3
What
wasn't
about...
afraid to take its
I've already
audience to
mentioned
some
that, like...
places. For
I feel like
starters,
even Batman
the
Returns was
installation
darker than
of
Toy
civilization
Story
largely
3.
resembles a concentration camp, with the movie movie possibly functioning as a metaphor.
I can't believe they didn't even make any honorable mentions here.
Nowhere is this more apparent than during the climax, where the toys are nearly incinerated in a furnace, holding hands as they accept.
And this would have been the great send-off to Toy Story. No, they had to ruin it with Toy Story 4.
Ain't one kid ever loved a toy, really.
Just had to ruin it with a fourth one.
Do you agree with our picks? Check
Where's
out
their
these
honorable
other videos from
mentions?
Watchmojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell
Oh, well.
to be notified about our latest videos.
There we go. That pretty much wraps up my reaction to Watchmojo's Top 10 Unexpectedly Dark Movie sequels. And once again, like Watchmojo, they have split opinions. Like, I'm surprised they didn't do any honorable mentions here. Like, where were the honorable mentions? Like, I can't believe they don't have Goblet of Fire, Batman Returns, one of the Die Hard sequels, Rambo 4, Rocky 3. Like, where were those? Those were all darker than the other predecessors in their franchises. Yet somehow, apparently they thought Crank High Voltage was darker than Crank 1. I liked High Voltage more than Crank 1, but I thought it was more comical than the first film. I don't know how they think it's darker just because it had more gore and stuff. More gore and stuff doesn't subtly make a sequel darker. And somehow at number 8, they put one of the worst Jurassic Park movies, Fallen Kingdom, on the list. They think Fallen Kingdom is darker than any of the sequels I've mentioned. All because it has some dinosaurs getting killed and a mansion raid. That was it. All it was an island getting destroyed and then dinosaurs raiding and killing people in a mansion. How was any of that dark? Yes, I'm aware about the Palosaurus's death scene, I'm aware of, but that was a good scene, but doesn't make the movie good, right? Like, they should have had honorable mentions. Like we could have replaced Fallen Kingdom and Crank 2 either with Batman Returns, or Goblet of Fire, or Revenge of the Sith. Either one of those three could have replaced Crank High Voltage. Number 8, I'd replace with either Rambo 4, Predator 2, Rocky 3. Did I mention Goblet of Fire? I think I did. Or Batman Returns, Goblet of Fire. All of those should have replaced 9 and 8. Right? Like, and with Infinity War being on this list, I would probably put Infinity War at number 9 or 8. Number 9, I would put Toy Story 3 at number 8. And the ones I mentioned, either number 2 should have been either Revenge of the Sith, Goblet of Fire, or Predator 2. Number 2, number 1 should have been either Rambo 4, Return of the King, even. Like, all those, I felt all of those had even more darker tones than 9 or 8 did on this list. It's one of the reasons I can't take Watchmojo seriously. They always pick the worst picks, like Fallen Kingdom being the darkest Jurassic Park movie. That's like saying The Last Jedi is the darkest Star Wars movie. The Last Jedi of all movies would be the darkest Star Wars movie, I bet. I'm honestly surprised they didn't put The Last Jedi at number 3. That's like saying, I'm surprised they didn't put Alien 3 on this list, if they like Fallen Kingdom so much. Like, there's so many darker, better sequels than that shitty film. It's the second worst Jurassic Park movie. It's like, I could come up with a better list. It would probably be the same as this, but number 10 would be Cap Winter Soldier. Actually, mine would be a number 11. Number 11 would be Cap Winter Soldier. Number 10 would be Infinity War. Number 9 would be Number 9 would be, I think, I'd put Rambo 4. No, not Rambo 4, number 9. Number 9 would be Revenge of the Sith. Temple of Doom was on here, that's a prequel, so Revenge of the Sith could be on here too. Number 8 would be Goblet of Fire. 7, 6, 5, 4 would probably remain unchanged. So I keep those on the list. Or number 8 would be Toy Story 3. Then number 3 would be Rambo 4. Number 2 would be Return of the King. Number 2 would be Return of the King. Honorable mentions would be Predator 2, Goblet of Fire, because they should have had honorable mentions. John Wick 2 even could have been an honorable mention. I don't know why John Wick 2 wasn't on this list. That to me is the darkest John Wick movie. And my number one would be Batman Returns. To me, Batman Returns is easily the number 1 darkest sequel. Like, Batman Returns had Penguin wanting to kill newborn babies, a guy's nose being bit off and actually bleeding, Christopher Walken's character being kissed to death with an electric taser, stuff, and darker skull suits, raiding a Christmas party, probably even torturing and killing a bunch of Gotham citizens. Batman even kills quite a few people in Returns. And a depressing tone, and a depressing death of a penguin. Like, holy shit, that's the closest we'll ever get to an R-rated Batman movie. Can't believe they didn't put that movie on this list. That movie should have been on here. It would be my number 1. I don't think any other sequel could be as darker as Batman Returns. But I want to know your opinions in the comments below, what your list would probably go like. And until then, guys, that'll be it for this video. Thank y'all for watching. If you like this and want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.